And so in much the same way that I feel justified in saying there are no leprechauns, even though I don't assert that to absolute certainty either, I feel justified in saying that there are no gods. And the thing is what most people mean by a god is the sort of thing that you would actually expect it to at least intervene to demonstrate its existence. I mean, we look at the Christian God, the Judeo-Christian God, and you're talking about somebody who for many years performed obvious miracles and demonstrations of power, pillars of cloud and lights and walking on water and raising the dead and talk to people. And now, all of a sudden, when we get to the point where we can actually begin to investigate these claims, they kind of go away. And so, from my standpoint, I believe that there are no gods. But the only thing that I need defend, or need present, I guess, is that I do not believe that any claim for God has been justified by sufficient evidence for belief.
And we've looked at a lot of them.
Okay, so one last thing. Now, as far as belief goes, you believe there's no God. I am on the fence with the subject. Now, who's then doesn't go on to, and on atheist belief, like, according, like, Santa Claus. Santa Claus is mommy.
Hey, Justin, your phone's breaking up again. Do me a favor. Email tv@atheist-community.org and put, like, AETV or NPR in there.
Sure.
And just put my name, and I'll be happy to talk to you offline, since you got through on the phone. But the guys even here in the studio, they can't hear what you're saying.
Everybody in the audience is cringing because they can't make it out. So sorry.
I'd love to address the question, so email. And that's, as a reminder to everybody else, if you didn't get through or couldn't get through or you had phone problems, email tv@atheist-community.org. Put AETV or NPR for Nonprofits Radio in the subject line. That'll make it through the spam filters. And while we don't answer all of them, we do answer a great deal of them. And we'll do what we can to answer yours.
You're the man answering emails, man.
Whew. Yeah, well, I got to do something.
Okay. Keeps you sharp, that's for sure.
We got Ryan in Milwaukee.
Hi.
Hey, how are you, Ryan?
Good. I wanted to discuss something about a couple callers ago when we were talking about natural selection and morality.
Yeah.
And basically, I don't think natural selection really applies much to our species anymore. It's basically natural selection means that our genetics or our genes play a role in our fitness. But in our society, it's more like the country that we're born in really plays more of a, or just luck, or having good parents or something like that.
It's a complex topic. It turns out that if you read like Scientific American or some of the sort of popular science literature, you find out that in the last maybe 5,000 years, there's been a lot of movement as far as evolution having to do with our brains, and that's still undergoing a lot of rapid change. So you might think that we've kind of controlling our evolution, or we've maxed out some way or the other, but in reality it's still going on. But I think it's just going on in an environment where it's a much more complex environment, it's a rapidly changing environment, and I think we're given the sort of leg up because we have so much intelligence. So it becomes a little harder to sort out all those issues, but it's still going on, and we're going to be very different in another 10,000 years than we are now.
Yeah, there's the claims that we're no longer subject to natural selection.
Oh, I didn't mean that. I meant there are other factors that probably play a bigger role than natural selection.
Well,
but
how is it?
There are a lot of.
How is it that you managed to exclude those other factors from natural selection? Who are you to say what factors are included in natural selection? It's not just nature. It's not just the weather or whether we got isolated. It's about which genes have the advantage in their reproduction, and maybe one of those advantage is, you talk about it. It's about what family you're born to. Well, that's true for everybody anywhere. The fact that we have this different perspective about society, that we have a wealth-driven culture that may ensure that some people's offspring are more likely to survive than somebody else's, I don't necessarily think that that should be excluded from natural selection, because the building blocks that constructed that society are part of our genes.
Yeah, they're not directly part of our genes. Basically, Thunderfoot has a new video about this on his webpage, and he's basically showing that we've kind of, I don't know, I mean, I guess watch the video, that's better than I could describe it, but our knowledge that we've accumulated really takes precedence over our genomes right now.
Yeah, there's this argument that there's this notion of memes out there, this cultural evolution, and that this is another driving force, and you can actually make the argument, if you want, that this is taking us in another direction. I mean, we're all being programmed to sit in front of the TV or in front of the computer playing with memes and creating the internet to make these memes run around. Yeah, you can make this sort of argument, but ultimately it plays into the environment in which the genes function, and there is still a notion of selection going on. That is, some people are going to have more children than other people, and these things are the basis of natural selection.
I'm gonna try and get to one more call before we're done. So thanks a lot for calling.
Yeah, thanks.
We got James in Austin.
Yes. Hey, guys.
Hey, we're almost out of time, so if you can make it quick, that'd be great.
Yeah, real quick. Just wanted to point out, it's actually a question. Is it then evil, even though it is intentional harm to another human being, if I punch someone who is attacking another human without provocation?
No, and that's why my definition was different from Don's, to avoid that.
See, Matt's so much smarter than I am.
That's why you define things, so that you can avoid that, because then it promotes discussion on other stuff. Thanks a lot to everybody for tuning in. There's the crew who, if they have a camera, I guess they can show themselves. We got one camera down. We'll be back again next week. Russell will be here. It'll be Super Bowl Sunday, so I'm sure everybody will be ready to talk about the Tim Tebow Focus on the Family commercial that I didn't bring up today, other than to say I think it's a crock, and I'm sure we'll talk about it after the fact. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. Don't forget about dinner after the show at Threadgills. And don't forget about Jennifer Whitson's lecture on the 7th. See you then.